Good morning, Kitchen Witches. Today is Tuesday, July 14th, and this is your tarot and menu inspiration for the day. So, today is a new moon. And in new moons, we set our intentions, yes? So, give the new moon its time to pause, right? Because that's what it's all about. It's gone through a cycle. It needs to rest. Once it's rested, start new, right? It starts new, we start new, little things or big things. For me and for us, it's the release of chapter 2, which is the next chapter in the quarterly series of A Chef's Grimoire magazine. So it's available today digitally, and you can sign up at achefsgrimoire.com. There's also hard copies available, and as soon as they get into my inbox or my mailbox, because I ordered them a while ago, I'm going to show you the chapter. It's gorgeous, I must say. Beautiful. It's got, the chapter is called Manifesting, and it's a deep dive with the magician. So there's recipes for the magician, right? We interview the magician. We have, what are they called? Cameo performances from the aces, right? Which the magician rolls. And we have recipes for the new and full moons. We have spell work. And we also have the Wheel of the Year and lovely menus for that as well. So I hope you check it out. I'm very excited, as you can tell. But for today, I digress. We are pulling a card for Tuesday, July 14th. All right, what do we got? What is on the menu for today? All right, interesting. So it's the Knight of Cups. We've been getting quite a bit of court cards lately. And court cards are, for new tarot readers and even seasoned tarot readers, sometimes they're a little challenging to read. Now the reason is because the major arcana are very, they are cut and dry, right? They mean what they mean. You can memorize all of the symbolism in the card, and that will never change, right? And then context to context is how it's brought into the reading or the day. Same with the minor arcana, and the actual key, golden key to the minor arcana is if you know the major arcana, all the minors, with the exception of the court cards, have a major that's ruling it. So you can tell just by the number how they coordinate or correlate with each other, and the majors have their influence over the minors. So you can at least start there, right? With the court cards, there's no major arcana ruler. These are minor arcanas, and they're families that live within the deck. So there are 4 suits, cups being one of them. Then we have swords, we have wands, we have pentacles. And each of those suits has a family of 4 members. The knight, prior to the knight, the page, and above the knight, the queen and the king. So the page, the knight, the king, the queen. All 4 of these beings live within each of the 4 families. So pages are the youngest of the suit, so they're still very much getting in touch with the element that they rule over. They're not like kings that know it inside and out and can utilize its energy in a pinch, right? Same with the queens in a different way. But yes, same with the queens. The knights are even grappling a little bit, right? They're more advanced than the page, but they still make mistakes. And this Knight of Cups is no exception. Now, cups are our emotions, right? So you'll always see the knights on a horse. And the suit of swords and the suit of wands, their horses are in motion. And even the suit of cups horse is in motion. It's the suit of pentacles where the knight's horse is standing still, because pentacles move very slowly, right? Cups, they meander, right? They ebb and flow like your emotions. But pentacles are solid earth energy, so they're very grounded. So therefore, the horse of the Knight of Pentacles is standing still, looking all around them at their lands, the way that they've been harvested, the way that they've been curated, and taking a moment of pride. So with this card, the Knight of Cups is a lovely card to get upright, because it means that more or less we're wearing our emotions on our sleeves. So, today it could be we're happy and we're going to let everybody know it, or we're sad and we're going to let everybody know it, or we're anxious, or we're flatline. Some days you're not happy, you're not sad, you're just existing, right? So these, and again, since there's no ruler of a major arcana to the court cards, we have to think of them as individuals. So they're personalities, either personalities around you or you yourself, right? That's why they're difficult to read in a reading. Where they come up is a helpful clue. If you're doing a spread that says past, present, future, or, something like that, then, you can think, okay, this is someone or something that I was in the past. Who was that? What was that? And that's a clue. But for today, being a card of the day, we're going to look around. This is the way I learned my court cards. We're going to look around as we're out and about today, and we're going to see the people that we meet and who has this energy, who wears their heart on their sleeve, who, is angry 1 second, lets it out, and then the next second they're happy-go-lucky, right? Because they didn't fester their emotions. They just rode with them, let them go, and now they come back to center. I'm not that type of person. I can tell you honestly. It takes me a lot to get angry, but that's not good either. So this might be the better way to go, right? The hard part, and the thing that this card is still learning, is emotions are great. Of course, there's something we all have, but you have to be seasoned in life to know when they're acceptable around other people, right? I mean, children don't know. They're going to have a temper tantrum in the Walmart and not give 2 cents, right? They don't care. They're just going to get it all out of their system, and then maybe they get that toy, or maybe not, and they just cried it out and now they're fine. That is a lot of Knight of Cups energy. However, I would consider that more Page, right, energy. But when we're working with adults, right, there are people who will let you know, point blank, this is the way I feel. And, it comes at you like a wall. And then they're fine. And then you walk off and say, wow, and then your emotions are kind of teetering. So who are those people? Who are those people in your life today? That's what the Knight of Cups is asking you to take a look and see. Or is it you? Is it you, right? How are you acting today? Are you on the edge of emotions, right? Will the smallest thing set you off? And once it does that clear the energy for other energies to come in? Or is it just letting a little steam off only to fester more, right? So that's what you want to avoid. If you're going to let it out and be done with it. So anyway, if this knight came into our kitchen to cook some meals, what would they make? So I'm thinking foods that give us joy, right? Because really, when it comes down to it, the Knight of Cups should be about joy. It should be about creation and just joy, right? All the positive emotions. So let's make foods that are going to make that happen. I'm thinking, right? Breakfast. So have you ever made granola from scratch? If you have, then this recipe is not going to be much different. But you're going to use quinoa instead of oats. So you get yourself some organic quinoa. It's an ancient grain. And you don't even have to cook it, right? You just rinse it really, really well to get a little bit of the bitterness off of it from sitting. And then you dry it off. You put it on a sheet tray with some almonds and sesame seeds, right? If you can have nuts, if not, do the whole seeds thing. Hemp seeds are great. What else in a pinch? Like I said, the sesame seeds, they call peptias, the little pumpkin seeds, right? That you can get in a bag. Seeds. Go seeds if you can't have nuts. And then you're going to add some maple syrup for sweetness. You're going to add some oil, and I prefer either olive oil, avocado oil, coconut oil, right? Those sustainable oils, use those. And then a little salt. If you want to, you can add some sugar, but we're gonna kind of make it sweet later, but you can. And then you mix all that up in a bowl, throw it on a lined sheet tray into a 400-degree oven for maybe 12 minutes, 15 minutes, just until it all sets. And as it comes out of the oven, it will crisp up. That could be put in a plastic bag on your counter and live there for a couple weeks, right? As long as the air is all pressed out. And but it's great, and it's great to serve on parfaits. It's great to even serve on a chicken dish, right? If you do a baked chicken dish with a little sauce and you put that on for a crunch, right? You can do that. That's where I'm saying in the initial making of the dish, maybe you don't add sugar because you don't know where you're going to use it, right? If you do know where you're going to use it, which is in today's recipe, you can add sugar because we're going to make a peanut butter quinoa crunch bowl. So that's the quinoa. You've made it. It's ready. Now you're going to take milk and peanut butter. Again, if you can't have peanut butter or nuts, then you know the kind of quote-unquote peanut butter you can use. But you make that into like a peanut butter milk, right? And you get that to a point where it's kind of thick from the peanut butter. Tastes like peanut butter, but it's got the milk in there for the proteins and the creaminess. And you're going to pour that over the top of the quinoa crunch. And if you wish, you could slice some bananas on top. Now, wouldn't that make you happy? I know it would make me happy. Delicious. Lunch. So, have you been to dim sum lately? Dim sum, don't know what that is? It's Chinese, right? You can go to Chinatown. If you can hop a train, go into Manhattan if you're in New York or Jersey or Connecticut even. Hop a train, go into New York, go to Chinatown down by Canal Street, and you go to the dim sum restaurants. There's a couple that still exist and some that have been there forever. They're all amazing. If you've never experienced this before, you don't have it in your town, I'm going to tell you what you do, right? So you go in, usually it's in like this enormous restaurant, like enormous. There's tables for days. And the people are wheeling around these little carts. And on the carts, they're like steamed carts, right? So they can hold hot things. And they open the cart and they give you a dish of this, a dish of that, a dish of that. And they all are works of art. They're little dumplings. And some have pork in them, some have steamed red beans, some have like shrimp. They just all have something different in them. And they are steamed, so but they're made in such creative ways. Like some look like bowls, which would fit our cups, right? Some are actual dumplings that are crimped, and they just are absolutely beautiful to look at. they're just lovely. Some are just balls that are made of fish that come with a little dipping sauce. So you go for dim sum, and you have to have an adventurous, joyous spirit, right? Because you're sitting in this enormous place. The little carts are going around. You're ordering what you think you want because you really don't know what you're ordering. They can't tell you what you're ordering. Half of them, all of them don't really speak very good English, but it's great. And you just have the best time, and you sit with people you really know and love, and you're just like, ooh, this is delicious. Wonder what it is, and you can tell sometimes, but sometimes you just can't. But it's yummy. Every bit of it is yummy. Dim sum, it's really fun. And I know you know what I'm talking about, because lately they have these restaurants that do kind of the same thing with sushi, right? They have a conveyor belt in the center of where you sit, and the sushi is coming by on conveyor belts, and you just pull a plate off. And depending on the color of the plate you choose, that's how much that thing costs and how they know they can ring it up. And you're just picking plates, and you see something go by, it's beautiful, you take it, you don't know what you're eating sometimes, but it's yummy, all of it's yummy, and it's art on a plate. So it makes me joyous to think about dim sum, but maybe it makes you joyous to think about a sushi bar like that. So interchangeable today, right? Go for either, and really have a good time, because this night would just love that. Right, moving on to dinner. So French dip sandwiches. Yeah. You can get shaved beef, right? I don't know. I know Aldi. If you have an Aldi, they're international. So most of you, if you're not tuning in from New York, know Aldi, right? Go to Aldi. They sell these packages of shaved beef. I think it's ribeye. I think. But it's like super finely shaved. And it's good for this particular sandwich, or a cheesesteak sandwich, right? It comes, I think, in 14 ounce. It's not a full pound. It's like 14 ounces. But it's plenty for 2 sandwiches. So get a container of that. And then you're going to saute it with a little bit of garlic, some beef broth, which is going to make your jus that you're going to dip it into. You get your hoagie buns, right? You want a hoagie bun, whatever that is to you. You can also get a Portuguese long elongated roll. That works too. Anything else like a brioche bun won't do it, because it'll be too soft. It'll just fall apart when you dip it in the jus. So you want something that's going to hold up when you dip. So a hoagie roll. Or an Italian roll. Great. Then, right, so you saute some onions, you saute some garlic, you then add the meat. It's really simple, guys. A little salt, pepper, not too complicated. If you wanted to add those pickled jalapenos from a jar, you can add those, or the pickled yellow peppers, you can add those for a little color, a little pop. Or if you don't have any of that and you just want to add a bell pepper, great. And then you put it into a buttered, toasted hoagie roll, and you take the jus from the beef broth that you brought everything together with, and you pour it into a cup, and you put that next to the sandwich. And then you dip and you eat, and you dip and you eat. Makes you so happy. Great. That's our menu for today. That is our card of the day, the Knight of Cups. And this knight would want you to nourish yourself and nourish all those around you with your kitchen magic. And make sure you check out achefsgrimoire.com and subscribe. Thank you. See you tomorrow.